flag is now in the air, signalling that everything is ready for the starting procedure to begin. He surprised everybody and he goes into the race lead. Fantastic stuff. So, there's a big crash. Got him around the outside and he takes the second place.
Hello race fans and welcome to Austria. Here we are again on a Salzburgring, a beautiful racetrack hidden in a narrow alpine valley. And here we are again on the starting grid, just ahead of the second race of the weekend of the FIA Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship. I am here on the starting grid, as I said, and again we do have 16 cars on the grid ready for the second race. Yesterday it was a moment of great joy for the Czech driver Max Karhan from Jensen Motorsport, who won the race from P2 on the grid, which means today Max Karhan is the guy on a pole position. Again, we do have top 4 positions on the starting grid occupied by Jensen Motorsport cars. It is Max Karhan starting from the pole position. Alongside him in the front row, it is the championship leader from Argentina, Gino Trappa. And here we have one of the best newcomers this year, this year's rookie in the championship, Andreas Lobue from Switzerland. Of course, also the proud father on the starting grid, Enzo Lobue. Hello Enzo, how are you and how do you feel before the second race?
This race will be different because it will be not with the rookie but with the best driver of the championship. So he has to fight more and right.
Yesterday it was a good race for your son, P5. So what's the goal today?
Today, because this weekend is not in the rookie because the timing of the qualification are too good. So I hope for him and for me, for the team, that he will be on the podium with the best pilots.
Thank you very much, Enzo. Best of luck for your son and, of course, best of luck to the other drivers ready for the second race of the FIA Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship here on the Salzburgring racetrack. And I believe it will be, again, really, really exciting because maybe we do have, or we did have yesterday, the podium completely occupied by the Jensen Motorsport cars, but nevertheless the races are exciting. And just as Enzo said, I believe also the newcomer Andreas Lobue will be capable of fighting for the podium today. And he's not far away actually, because if you take a look in a reverse direction, there are only 4 cars ahead of the best Maffei racing car on the grid. So I'm really, really curious what we are about to see. Well, the starting grid is now being cleared. We do have the 1 minute sign. 1 minute sign, 1 minute to the start of the formation lap. So this will be all from the grid walk. This will be all from the starting grid. And make sure you are joining us for the race itself in a few moments. Thank you very much. Hello again and welcome to Austria. Here we are again on Salzburgring racetrack. We are close to Salzburg, one of the most beautiful cities in Austria. And again, we have a beautiful day, clear sky, high temperatures, perfect weather for more racing. And the grid is being formed for the second race of the FI Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship here on this amazing racetrack. As I said, it's very unique to me. 4.2 kilometers long, hidden in a narrow alpine valley. It's a narrow short track which provides us with some good racing, and the grid is ready for the second race of Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship here on Salzburgring. So let's get ready for racing. We have Max Garhan on the pole position, Gino Trappa alongside him in the first row, and here we are again. We are racing again on Salzburgring, and we do have a yellow flags on the grid because one of the cars stopped. And fortunately there was a no contact, no crash, because for example we saw a nasty crash yesterday in Barcelona in the first race of Formula 3, just because one of the cars didn't make it from the starting line, but fortunately it wasn't this case. So we go green at the moment, and it was a really good start by the Czech driver and yesterday's winner Max Garhan. Max Garhan is still leading the way, so good job done by the Czech racer. Max Garhan is there in the front, but this will be a really close battle between Garhan and Trappa. Max Garhan is second in the championship standings after yesterday's victory, but the championship leader Gino Trappa is trying to make the overtake maneuver from the outside line, and this is a nice battle wheel to wheel between the two teammates. A small lockup by Max Garhan, but the Czech driver still should be in the first place at the moment, racing with number 144, took his first victory of the season yesterday, and he is even more motivated for Sunday's race to make it happen again, because this weekend can be crucial for the championship. Max Garhan can't lose any more points if he wants to put a pressure on Gino Trappa. So he needs to win again, and then he needs to win also the third race today afternoon. So it's a huge task for the Czech talented driver, but I believe he can repeat yesterday's victory. He has the speed here, and he has the self-confidence, which is crucial for being quick and being victorious eventually. So it is Max Garhan leading the way ahead of Gino Trappa, Javier Herrera in P3. Lockup by Nicolas Cortes, another Jensen Motorsport driver. And still we have top 4 places occupied by top 4 Jensen Motorsport drivers. Again, it's commanding performance shown by the Swiss squad here on Salzburgring. Here we are again on the main straight, and Max Garhan is doing a really great job here, because the gap between him and Gino Trappa is almost 1 second wide. So good job so far by Max Garhan, who is leading the race in a very commanding way. Yesterday he was under pressure only after the safety car period, because there was no more gap between him and Trappa, but he gained the gap again, so he has the pace here, no question. And look at this battle. This is a fight for the 4th place between the local hero Simon Schranz, racing for Renault Motorsport, and Simon Schranz going from the outside around Nicolas Cortes. Nice battle between Jensen Motorsport and Renault Motorsport car. It was a small lock up by Nicolas Cortez, but he is still in P4. And behind him, Simon Schranz needs to also be defensive, because as you can see, there is also the German female driver Mathilda Patz trying to find her way ahead. And we know very well that also Mathilda Patz is very, very quick driver. She finished in P3 on Red Bull Ring during the previous race weekend. Or excuse me, it was P2 actually. Yes, she was in P2 in the last race on Red Bull Ring a month ago. So what a great driving talent we have here in Mathilda Patz. And oh no, we have a car off the track, and it's number 25 if I'm correct. Or excuse me, it was 26, which would be Chiara Henne. So another female driver in the field. But look at this battle again. It's Simon Schranz going from the outside around. Nicolas Cortez is trying to do it in the same way like in the previous lap. So will he be successful this time? I don't think so. Nicolas Cortez keeps his inside defensive line, and that's the best way how to keep your position safe. Good job done by Nicolas Cortez. And now there is a huge pressure. Simon Schranz under huge pressure from Mathilda Patz, and she is trying to find her way ahead. But there is no space to do it from the outside into the first chicane, so she will rather wait for the better opportunity, and I believe the better opportunity will come for her. You can see how close are these single-seaters to each other. It's a proper nose-to-tail racing here on Salzburgring. In the meantime, Max Garhan still leading the race, and he has the advantage over 1 second ahead of Gino Trappa, so it's a good position for Max Garhan, who is again going for the victory here on Salzburgring. But still, we have 18 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Nothing has been decided yet, and this time Schranz is trying to find his way through the inside line. And you could see another lockup done by Nicolas Cortez. He's ruining his front tires, and that's not good news for the Mexican driver to the rest of the race, because his performance, of course, will be affected by the tires. So this time Schranz is trying to find... Oh no! There was a mistake done by Nicolas Cortez, and he almost lost it. Just ahead of the first chicane, he went almost through the chicane, through the gravel zone, but somehow he managed to stay on the racetrack, and now it's Mathilda Patz trying to find her way through the inside line ahead of Simon Schranz, but not this time. So it is still Simon Schranz in P5 and Mathilda Patz behind him in P6. But it's a great, great battle for the 4th place here on the racetrack between Cortez, Schranz and Patz. Behind them it's František Němec in P7. But there is a bigger gap between Němec and these 3 drivers. So Němec means no threat for these guys at the moment. Again, a huge lockup done by Cortez. And again, in the same place, at the same corner. Not good news for Nicolas, not good news for his tires. We still have 16 minutes and 40 seconds to go. And I'm afraid that his tires will be dead really, really soon if he keeps doing this. Again, through the first chicane of the racetrack here on Salzburgring, and there might be another chance for Simon Schranz. There is no space on the inside. This corner is not the best place to overtake here on Salzburgring. But Simon Schranz knows very well he needs to be quick at the exit from that corner to make his position better for overtaking in the following corners, in the following sectors of Salzburgring. So again, he does a good job here. And look how close he is. There will be another attempt from Simon Schranz very soon, and he goes from the outside again. But again, Nicolas Cortés still in P4. Karhan leads the race. And again, the gap between him and Gino Trappa is less than 1 second. So Gino Trappa has been quicker in the last laps. So Karhan's first position might be under pressure in the last 15 minutes of the race. Nothing has been decided. And also nothing has been decided here. And this fight between Cortés, Schranz and Parts. And again, we can see a wheel-to-wheel battle between Simon Schranz and Matilda Parts. And again, it's a fight for P5 at the moment. And this time the German driver may be successful. No, the outside line is not the quickest here. Definitely not. And what about Schranz? He was indicating that maybe he would go for the inside, but Nicolas Cortés left no space there. And there is another group of riders. František Němec leads the following group in P7, with David Gorčica behind him in P8, actually in P9 at the moment, because there was a battle between Gorčica and David Walter. So David Walter is in P8 and David Gorčica is in P9. But anyway, this is a great performance done by David Gorčica, because David Gorčica started the race from the very last place on the grid from P16, and we have him on in P9 at the moment. So good job done by the Czech racer racing for Křenek Motorsport. What a performance. Of course, David Gorčica was really upset after yesterday's race, because it was David Walter who left no space for him and pushed him out of the racetrack. So David Gorčica made contact with a barrier and broke not only the front right suspension, but also the rear right suspension. So there was plenty of work for the mechanics of Křenek Motorsport overnight, but the car is ready and David is back on the racetrack, which is really, really good news, not only for the Czech driver, but also for the Czech team. And David Gorčica is fighting for the championship points here. As I said, after start of the race from P16, he is up into the top 10 in P9 at the moment, and it could be even better for David Gorčica. Here he is driving the red and white Orlen car, and he is behind another Czech driver, František Němec, and I believe he is being quicker at the moment, so there could be a good chance for overtaking for David Gorčica here. And he should overtake František Němec as soon as possible, because David Walter is ahead of them and he's making the gap. So David Gorčica can't afford losing any more time if he wants to fight at last for P7 in this race. So wait and see, but really good job done by David Gorčica so far. And here we have another fight. And this is David Walter, the Danish driver, already behind Matilda Parts. So the German driver racing for Matilda Racing, the family racing team, is no more in the contact with Schranz and Cortez, but on the other hand, she needs to be defensive because she knows that there is David Walter behind her, and not anymore behind. He is ahead of Matilda Paz, so David Walter made it, and he is in P6 now. Also, really good job by the Danish driver. He started the race from 12th place on the grid, and he has already gained 6 positions, and we have him in P6 now. So good job done by Maffe Racing driver. And yes, that's the best Maffe Racing car on the racetrack now, as he is in P6 and Andreas Lavoie is down in P10. So not the best pace at the moment if we speak about Andreas Lavoie, but anyway, it's a newcomer to the series, and I must say he's doing a really great job. Last weekend on Red Bull Ring, he won the trophy for the best rookie, and this time on Salzburgring, he is fighting for the championship points in every race. So what a great progress done by the Swiss driver racing for Maffe Racing. Yesterday it was P5 for Andreas Lavoie, so really not bad for a newcomer to the championship. But anyway, we still have 9.5 minutes to go, and I believe that we will witness the battle for the first place here. Max Karhan still leading the race, but as you can see, there is no more gap between Karhan and Gino Trappa in the second place. Gino Trappa is really quick at the moment, and he is already trying to find a way. Another great battle between the two teammates here. And let's wait for the main straight again, but I believe that Gino Trappa is really the quickest guy on the racetrack at the very moment now. Another lap completed. Karhan is still in the lead, but the gap is only 0.5 of a second between him and Gino Trappa. And he needs to be defensive, he needs to be careful, and he can't afford making any mistake. And what about here? Another great battle between Cortez and Schranz. Schranz is still stuck behind Cortez. Well, I must admire the defensive skills shown by Nicolas Cortez here, because he is being under pressure from the very first lap to this moment, but still not making any mistakes and still keeping Simon Schranz behind him. So good job by the Mexican here. But what about this time? It is another wheel-to-wheel battle between Cortez and Schranz is ahead. So finally Simon Schranz made it, and he is in P4 now. So finally Simon Schranz completed the overtaking maneuver, and he is the new driver in 4th place now. With 7 minutes to go, it's a small success for Simon Schranz racing for local team. Oh no, we have a car off the track, and it's a Křenek Motorsport car in the barrier. Who is it? I believe it's number 23. That's Nicolas Cortez, the Mexican driver, yes. So maybe this is a result of the fight between Simon Schranz and the Mexican Nicolas Cortez. We have a safety car on the track. So what a drama we have with 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Nicolas Cortez went off the track into the tire barrier. What a shame for the Mexican driver, who was racing for more championship points here. I can see some slow motions, and it seems to me it was just a simple driver's mistake. I believe there was no contact between the Mexican and Simon Schranz So most likely this was only the driver's mistake, or of course it could be some kind of technical issue or flat tire maybe. I can't speculate, but take a look here. Yes, you can see Nicolas Cortez locking up the tires and leaving the track in a huge speed and crashing into the tire barriers. I was so happy to see climbing Nicolas Cortez up out from the car. So Nicolas Cortez should be okay after this huge impact. But what a shame. Here he is, the Mexican driver Nicolas Cortez, and it seems to me that he can't believe what he sees at the moment. The race is over, and there will be no points for Nicolas Cortez at the end of this race. And hopefully we will see Nicolas Cortez in the final race of the weekend this afternoon. But this was really bad impact. So the race has been neutralized with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Safety car is leading the field, and behind the safety car it's Max Carhan in the first place, ahead of Chino Trapa, Javier Herrera in P3, Simon Trans in P4, David Walter in P5, Matilda Paz in P6, František Němec in P7, David Gorčica in P8, Andreas Lebue in P9, and Hademi Massi from Canada, racing for Renault Motorsport, is there in P10. So that's the top 10 at the moment. Plus we have the Hungarian driver Bennett Gaspar in P11, racing for Zingier Motorsport. Then we have the Polish female driver Michalina Sabaj in P12, Theodor Borenstein in P13, Nikolai Dirbet in P14. These are the other two Maffe Racing drivers, and Chiara Henny is there in P15. She spun in this race, so that's the reason why she is in the very last place now. Well, the question is if there is any restart, because we only have 3 minutes left, and it will be really necessary to repair these tire barriers. So it's possible that the race will end behind the safety car, and you can see much damage to the car of Nicolas Cortez. Both sides of the front suspension broken, the front wing broken, and also maybe the other things on the car will have to be repaired. So bad news for Jense Motorsport. The second race is scheduled for today afternoon, with the green flag shown a few minutes after 1 p.m. So not much time left for Jense Motorsport if they want to make this car ready again for the third race of the weekend. What a shame, and I'm curious what Nicolas Cortez will say about this incident after the race. Because as I said, it could be a driver's mistake, it could be a technical issue, it could be a flat tire. All these possibilities are here. But the most important news is the fact that Nicolas Cortez is okay, and it was really good to see him climbing out of the car without any help. So that's the most crucial information, and we are happy to see him standing next to the car. But anyway, safety car will enter the pit lane at the end of this lap. So we will have another minute of green racing here on Salzburgring. So let's get ready for the final showdown. Here in Austria, Max Karhan in the first place. Behind him, Gino Troppa in P2, Javier Herrera in P3, Simon Schranz in P4, and David Walter in P5. Green flag. And we go green again, 40 seconds to go. This should be the last lap of the race. So we do have the green flag for the very last lap of the race. And Max Karhan is still being in the lead. And he's making no mistake, but there is a mistake by another Janssen car. And it's number 24, that's Javier Herrera. So another Mexican driver and another car spun. Number 14, Nikolai Dilbert from Mafia Racing. So what a drama at the end of the race. And it's really, really bad news for all the Mexican fans joining us. Because firstly, it was Nicolas Cortez crashing out. And now it's his fellow Mexican and his teammate Javier Herrera making a mistake in the first chicane and losing all the positions. What a bad news for the Mexican fans. In the meantime, Karhan leads ahead of Troppa, and behind them it's a great battle, three-wide battle between Herrera, Schranz and Walter for the third place, for the final spot on the podium. So who will be there? I believe it's a Simon Schranz. I believe it's a Simon Schranz in P3 now. So what a great restart by the Austrian driver. What a great restart by the local hero, racing for a local team, Křenek Motorsport. Here we are on the main straight again. And we are waiting for the checkered flag. Yes, here it is. Max Karhan wins the second race. Gino Troppa in P2. And yes, it's Simon Schranz in P3. So what a great lap by the Austrian driver. What a great restart. Simon Schranz made it up to the podium in the very last lap of the race. So what a dramatic way to finish the second race of the FIA Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship here on Salzburgring. Max Karhan wins again. It's a second win in a row for the Czech driver racing for Janssen Motorsport. Gino Troppa again in P2. So again, a podium finish for our championship leader. Again, we can see Javier Herrera here spinning the car, and also Nikolai Dilbert spinning the car at the same place. Javier Herrera finished race in P14 and Nikolai Dilbert finished race in P15. So only Nicolas Cortez wasn't classified in this race. But what a great last lap. Karhan wins, Troppa second, Schranz third, David Walter in P4. And David Walter started the race from 12th place on the grid. So he gained 8 positions. What a great race by David Walter. He was penalized after yesterday's incident between him and David Gorčica, but this time it was a clean race for the Danish driver who finished the race in P4. Matilda Parts from Germany, racing for Matilda Racing, finished the race in P5. František Němec, racing for the FIA CEZ Academy, finished in P6. It's a good result for a young Czech driver, and yes, this is the best result of the season for František Němec. So what a good race for another talented Czech racer, Hady Mimasi, another Křenek Motorsport racer from Canada in P7, David Gorčica in P8, and David Gorčica started the race from P16. So good job done by the Czech driver racing for Křenek Motorsport. Andreas Lobue in P9, another points for the newcomer. Good job by Mafia Racing driver. And after all, it's a 1 point for the Hungarian Bennett Gaspar, racing for the Hungarian team Zenge Motorsport. So also good job by Bennett. And good news for all the Hungarian fans. P11 for Michalina Szabály, P12 for Theodor Borenstein, P13 for Chiara Henny, P14 for Javier Herrera, who spun his car in the first chicane at the beginning of the last lap, and P15 for Nikolai Dilbert, the Danish driver racing for Mafia Racing, who made a mistake at the very same place like Javier Herrera did. So pretty unfortunate end of the race for these two racers. But again, what a show, and what a moments of joy for Max Karhan, who takes his second win in a row and also his second win of the season. Good job done by Max Karhan. And I believe we are ready for the highlights. So what a great showdown of racing here on Salzburgring. The cars are back in the pit lane in the Parc Fermé at the moment, and we are getting ready for the podium ceremony after the second race of the FIA Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship here on Salzburgring. It's the last Austrian venue of the 2025 season after the 2 rounds on the Red Bull Ring. We are enjoying these 3 races here on Salzburgring, and the season will go on in the Czech Republic on Most circuit at the end of July. Then we go to Slovakia for Slovakia Ring round at the end of August, and the big season final will be there at the beginning of September in Brno. By the way, in Brno we do have a brand new tarmac, new curbs, new gravel zones. Everything is new there at the moment, and there are few drivers who had a chance of testing there already, and everybody is so happy about new Brno circuit, especially about the new tarmac, because the times are dropping down, and basically in every racing class we are expecting breaking of track records. So let's be excited for Brno. Of course, the first big test of the new tarmac will be the MotoGP racing there at the end of July. And all the changes to the circuit has been made mostly because of the MotoGP comeback to the Czech Republic. So it's a good news that we still have 2 racing circuits in the Czech Republic. Most has been renovated in the last years for the World Superbike Championship, and also Brno undergoes the reconstruction works because of the MotoGP comeback. So good news for the Czech racing fans and for the Middle European racing fans, because I believe both Czech circuits are within the range for most of the racing fans from the Middle Europe, from the Czech Republic, Germany, Poland, Slovakia, Austria, of course. So it's the place to be, the Czech Republic and the Czech circuits. Good news. But of course we are so grateful for our Austrian friends and partners here, because the racing here either on Salzburgring or Red Bull Ring is really great, and the facility is amazing. So we are really enjoying racing here in Austria, and As you can see, the podium ceremony is getting ready now. And again, it will be Max Karhan on the top step. And again, it will be the Argentinian driver Gino Trappa on the second spot on the podium. So after the first race yesterday, Gino Trappa had 134 points to his name. Of course, Gino is still the championship leader. After yesterday's victory, Max Karhan made it up to the second place in the championship standings with 92 points to his name. So if I make a quick calculation here, it's another 25 points for Max Karhan. So that means 92 plus 25. That's 117 points for Max Karhan now. And if I do the calculation also for Gino Trappa, it's 134 plus 18, which is 152. So it is 152 versus 117 points. So that's the gap between Gino Trappa and Max Karhan. It's a 35 points between these two CEZ Motorsport drivers. 35 points between the first and the second place in the championship standings. And we still do have 10 races to go. The championship is absolutely wide open, and I believe it's going to be a great showdown for the championship title to the very last race in Brno. I know that also a lot of Argentinian fans are joining us live on the live stream, so also greetings to Argentina. It's good to have you along, and of course we know very well that all the South American fans are really passionate, not only for football, but of course for the racing. There are many Argentinian racing heroes. We all do remember Carlos Reutemann racing in Formula 1. We all know Jose Maria Pechito Lopez racing in the WEC nowadays, but we know him, of course, for claiming 3 championship titles in World Touring Car Championship racing for Factory Citroën. So we have a lot of Argentinian drivers in our minds, and it's great to see another talented driver from Argentina racing here in Formula 4. And of course, I'm talking about Gino Trappa. But here he comes. This is Simon Schranz for the first time this year on the podium. So good job done by the Austrian driver. Good job by the local hero. And here we have the two CEZ Motorsport drivers, Gino Trappa in P2 and Max Karhan winning the race. And we are ready to hear the Czech national anthem again. Czech national anthem for the winning driver Max Karhan. Another moments of joy for the Czech racer and the Czech racing fans. Here we have Mr. Křenek presenting the trophies. So the trophy for the third place went to Simon Schranz. The trophy for the second place goes to Gino Trappa, and the trophy for the winner here It goes to the hands of Max Garhant, and look how happy he is. Of course, we have the trophy for the representative of the winning team, Jensen Motorsport. So the Jensen Motorsport is continuing in its dominance here in Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship. So guys don't want to spray the champagne now because of course there is another race in the afternoon, so they want to keep their racing suits clean and ready for the final race, and that's completely understandable because the weather is really hot here, so you don't want racing in champagne. I can imagine how unpleasant it could be for the racers here. So another racing series is getting ready in the meantime. We have some historic single-seaters on the racetrack. And we are also ready for another podium ceremony here on Salzburgring. So this time I believe it should be for the best rookie driver. And we have the Austrian national anthem here. So the podium for the best rookie drivers here, and again we can see Simon Schranz on the podium for the second time, because of course he was the best rookie in the second race. So it's a second trophy for the Austrian driver here on his home soil. So what a good news for the Austrian fans again. And I believe we will also see the podium for the best female drivers after the second race of the FIA F4 CEZ Championship. What a beautiful place for racing anyway. I believe that's the only track in the world where you can watch the racing from the Alpine hills actually, and that's really nice about Salzburgring. Yes, and here we come. It's the podium ceremony for the best ladies. So this time we shall listen to the German national anthem for the winning driver Mathilda Patz. So this was the German national anthem for the best female driver of the race. Matilda Pats, again showing some great racing abilities, some great driving skills. And we are so curious about her and about her future because she has the speed. And I believe the best has yet to come if we speak about her. So again, the trophies are presented for the best free ladies driver. And I believe that will be all from the second race of the FIA Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship here on Salzburgring. Make sure you join us also for the second race of TCRs and join us also for the final race of the weekend of the FIA Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship here on Salzburgring today afternoon. And have a lovely Sunday. Thank you very much.
The green flag is now in the air, signaling that everything is ready for the starting procedure to begin. He surprised everybody and he goes into the race lead. Fantastic start. So, oh, there's a big crash.